Green board.
Here we go.
All right,
everybody.
Prepare for contest.
See a bad moon rising.
Yeah. Hey, good evening, all. Welcome to Roll for Effort. I'm Jason, and this is Joe, Chuck, Mark, Damien, Gary, all of our badass DMs and players alike. Tonight, you might notice we're recording raw. We had a catastrophic computer failure, and they pay us in monkeys around here, so... but tonight we're going to start our new campaign.
RF, you got hacked.
Yeah, pretty much. Except by a cat and by dropping a computer from 3 feet off the ground. Anyway.
This is why cats are evil.
If you like what we do here, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, hit that little bell notification so you can, hear when new stuff comes out. We try to have new videos, 3 times a week, talking heads on Fridays. So that's it. That's all I got for my spiel. Joe, take it away.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Definitely been excited for this. All right. So we did our session 0 last week. We kind of got some, background lore, the 50-year-ago flashback that we did. And important to remember that a lot of that stuff that happened there, once that barrier was crossed in our world out of those strange woods, people began forgetting. That's not to say that family ties were forgotten. Those people are remembered, but there may have been instances of I don't really remember what happened to him, and possibly other stories had kind of evolved in that gap of knowledge, that missing chunks of memory for at least those that had ties to people on the other side. But now we begin. So let's plop everybody over to our kind of home space, as it were. Our Birchford.
Nice.
Okay, there it is. I was like, where's my sound? My sound is there. All right.
Village of 1,000 cats.
Right? Well, there's a very important reason for that. I mean, living so close to the woods, plains, there's a lot of mice, rats, and things like that.
It's a healthy village.
It's a healthy village. Cats keep them out. And perhaps there are other reasons we can discover why there are so many cats. But in any regard, we have a couple locations I just want to point out for some folks here on the side. We've got our church up top. We have the Painted Lantern, and kind of a more overall look there of our city of Birchford. So there is that's right, you were not quite in a spot yet. So we had been doing a little bit of RP there in the chat, which is kind of why some people are placed where they are. Oh yeah, direction-wise, you won't be walking across the stuff. Kind of have more in that card sense to just kind of explain kind of those locational areas.
Got it.
All right. And so we did have it that in the RP, Dustin and Elric were having a conversation up in the church. The Monsignor himself, you pop him out. The Monsignor had kind of made his way back into the church, still milling about in the back, again preparing, because it is 6 days until the autumnal equinox, which happens to coincide with the founding of the city, as well as the harvest festival. There is a lot of farmland surrounding all of Birchford. The little thing, move our... Oh, I'm on the wrong map.
And Elric's been fasting.
Okay.
To prepare for the festival.
Nice. Yep, so the festival is on its way. Let me pop over in the Painted Lantern. We do have, throw her out there. There is Ironwort, Lady Ironwort, our good old surly dwarven lass. She's been obviously running her inn. She's the proprietor of the whole establishment, where both Minimus and Scored have been hanging out, drinking and Scored most certainly carousing. And then we have our youngest lad down there.
Yeah, I was wanting to hear the tune to that song you wrote. That was awesome.
Oh
I
yeah,
will absolutely sing it someday.
Okay.
most certainly. And then we have our youngest, or I imagine younger fellow here, who has made his way down and around. But let me get him into a spot. At the moment, no, don't do that. Sorry, technical issues. Who has gone down to more or less speak with his pal Merrick, the captain of his riverboat.
That's a good captain.
Right. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off. Like I said, we've got 6 days until the festival. So starting off, we've got, we're kind of going to be just a little like housekeeping. We're kind of going to be bouncing a little bit just because of who's in different locations. I realize it'll be a little out of turn order, but we'll kind of pull it in like 3 blocks, as it were, in this situation. I understand it's a little different from what some of us might be used to from other games. But enough chatting out of me. All right.
All good.
All right. So we have Scored and Minimus hanging out here down in the Painted Lantern. And again, the lady Ironwort, she's tending her business, kind of almost looks a little contemplative as she's cleaning things up. You can smell a lovely roasted dough or roasted venison cooking away in the back with some lovely potato and carrots that she's got for the day's fare. And she comes over with another round, plunks another healthy tankard of beer down for Scored, kind of gives him a little wink. Not in a romantically kind of way, just in the I know you're looking for another beer, love. Here you go, dearie. And looks over to Minimus. Will that be another tea for you?
Tea?
Are you going to switch to beer today, love?
I'll take something a little bit stronger, Ironwood. But first, I have a question. This may seem very strange. I was here earlier, drinking said tea, and I swear I had a conversation with the young stevedore. Tell me, is this true? Was he here, and did he throw money at us?
Oh, that was a teen. Yeah, he threw your money back at you. It was quite funny from the side where I was watching. Picked your pocket, you didn't notice a thing, then tossed your coin purse back to you and warned you to watch for pickpockets. He's a good lad.
I have but 2 more questions for you. Please don't think I'm insane, but he called me old man. Tell me, what do I look like to you? And as he looks at her, you can see that he's quite disheveled and robbed of his sleep. And his leather armor is of a fine quality, with an open robe and a cape and a flat hat of the Portuguese style of the day. And underneath the dark shadow that's cast from the rim of his hat, a gray kind of black and white peppered beard has started to grow, and his long hair is kind of a strawberry blonde, but large strands of gray are streaked throughout it.
Well, I wouldn't say you look old. I mean, I'm 150. 150, love. But for a human, you're sure getting on in years just a bit. A little bit of the old man touching in your whiskers.
Huh.
And you do look like you could use some good sleep.
Oh, it is difficult to truly see how someone perceives himself, I guess. Here's my final question before I have some of that venison you have cooking in the back. And yes, a strong beer I think would do me great. But tell me, how many days have I been here?
Oh, coming up on maybe a week or 2 now.
Huh. Very well. Yes, a beer will do me fine. He turns and he looks at the dwarf that is singing and smiles in his direction and grabs a seat at the bar.
Yeah, she thumps a nice, healthy, frothy mug of beer down.
He gladly imbibes. Thank you.
Oh, I love. I'll just charge it to the room.
Fair enough. What time is it?
It's mere couple hours after sunup. Halfway through to the lunching hour.
Say what, 9?
Yeah, 9:10.
Stares off to something that's hanging on the wall behind her for an extended period of time. It seems lost in thought.
All right. And how about you, dearie? Sticking with the beer? Can I get some food to throw into your gut there? Scored, isn't it?
Scored. I don't know what it is. And,
Oh,
and you guys there?
Oh,
Yeah, right here, Chuck.
Yep.
And
Start
as yep. As you see him raise his hand to get that extra beer, you see 3 what look like scars down his sleeve, just spring into the sleeve of his right hand. Old scars, barely visible. And he does again start singing his song. Multiple songs. He's been singing ever since he got here. He says, "But Ironwood, when is this autumnal festival that we're supposed to be having here soon?"
Or how do you mean?
Aren't we supposed to be celebrating something here in a few days?
Oh, hi. Hi, it's the celebration of the harvest and the 50th anniversary of Berksford. Why, the equinox, the very night, that very day was when old Berksford himself, Matthias Berksford, founded this here village, love.
Well, of course, I remember my father talked about Berksford, Matthias, and how he founded this village. It's become quite prosperous, I think, since then.
Oh, aye, this river has been sure a blessing for all trade up and down with the rest of the world. Or at least the parts that are important, love. I do remember your father and your mom. They were here when we set our roots down. Traveled up north into Filton, if I'm not wrong, with
yes.
a lot of other folk for mining.
Up into the mines, we found that they wanted to find the gold that's up in their hills, and that's there. I know these hands have pulled some out, but ever since that collapse, I just can't go back into the mines. I just don't like the mines, so I think I will stay my way out from underground. I think it's a much safer place to be out here.
Oh, I can understand that. I didn't have much stomach for the stone myself either. I do like the people, though. I think that's the largest part of it on why I set up here this inn. I get to see all sorts coming through back and forth there, dearie. I do occasionally make the run to Filton, though.
It's a good place to be. But let's have another drink, and we'll sing some more songs while we wait for the evening when the songs and the merriment can really begin. We're just warming up right now.
Oh, aye. And sing, you could sing one for me. One about, I don't know, a praise or a blessing for sure. What with those 7 missing children already? 2 weeks' time they've all gone missing. A terrible, terrible tragedy. Oh, and she dunks another beer down for you.
And as you said, those 7 missing children, he actually like holds his forearm, clenching his right hand open up and closed, and he seems somewhat pensive. Missing children, you say?
Oh, aye, it's a terrible tragedy. There's some folks that say it has something to do with those strange lights. It's just will-o'-the-wisp and such, hills to the east. I don't
Strange
believe
lights,
any of
you
that,
say?
though. Will-o'-wisps. Ha! Fairy tales. If you ask me, there's just some foul thing running about this. It stinks of man. No offense.
Venomous slides over, kind of knocking stools to the side a bit, and leans in and says, "I beg your pardon. Did you say lights? Curious lights in the woods?"
Oh no, up in the hills.
Tell me more.
It's about a day and a half, 2 days maybe to the east. Some of the farmers just claim there were some strange lights, calling them will-o'-the-wisps. You believe such a thing?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt here, sir. I did not mean to interrupt your conversation. Please, back to your singing.
No, please. So, what might you know of these will-o'-the-wisps? I didn't catch your name, sir.
I go simply by the name Minimus. I'm new in town.
Well met. I'm Scored of Filton.
It's rare that I had to get to meet your type, but it's a pleasure indeed.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to meet my type. We are the most jovial folk. Well, most of us are anyway.
You say you work in the gold mines in Filton.
Yes, I do not like gold mines.
An odd question for you then, sir. You know of the quintessence of gold, that is, the red metal used to consume. Have you heard of this? Aurum potabile, an extract of gold. I would assume a dwarf of your nature would know these things.
Damn.
No, talking gibberish. I mean, gold is used for creating fine works of art. These words, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I ask odd questions. Maybe you can tell me of this town a bit more. I'm looking for someone.
Who are you looking for?
Well, a bit embarrassing. I do not know what she looked like, but it's a lady, and her name is Anne-Marie. A long friend, an old friend, I should say.
Oh, Anne-Marie.
Yes,
Why-
Anne-Marie, do you know her?
Oh, sure. It's been decades since anyone's called her Anne-Marie. Folks around here just call her Grandmother Anne. She's local hedge wizard. She does most of the doctoring. I mean, unless you could find one of those sort that can work some miracle to set a bone or cure a fever, we just go to Grandmother Anne. She'll set that bone. She'll brew up some willow bark, anything to cut the pain. Miracle worker right there.
How
Without-
delightful.
Hullabaloo.
Grandmother, you say. This is quite delightful. Well, if she is someone who can mix up such concoctions, perhaps she has this quintessence of gold that I seek. Can you tell me where to find her?
Oh, aye. She's a bit north of the town, within a mile, closer to the woods, closer to the Devon woods there.
I fear I know not my way around this town very much. Perhaps you could show me, dwarf, where this is.
I can indeed. And he flips a silver up onto the bar. Tips his hat.
No, please, on me, sir. If you are providing a service, I must pay. And I take his coin and slide it back to him and replace it with mine.
Well, far be it from me to keep a friend who can pay for my drink. And I quickly pocket my silver back in. Quickly, let's go find this Grandmother Marie that you wish. I know exactly where she is.
Godspeed. And tell me, sir, your name once again?
I'm Scored.
Oh, that's right.
Scored Dragonheart.
Well met, Scored. Let us be on our way.
All right. We're going to jump on over. We have Dust and Elric at the church.
Man, we were kind of having a really comedic conversation before.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Her affliction.
So
That was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Elric. So Elric has never met an elf before in his entire life, and he was surprised to meet this lady elf. He doesn't know her name yet. In the back of this church. And I'll let you Park fill in on your side of things. But she's talking about wanting to seek out an apothecary with him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, no, I understand your willingness to want to correct things and to fix your affliction, your elfism." Because from his perspective, elves are probably,
Yeah.
like mutated humans. Or cursed
It's a
humans, that kind of
disease
thing.
she contracted.
That's so
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah. That was a nice spin you put on it. I found that funny. At first I went, what the hell is he talking about? Oh, okay.
I'm an elf, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that back and forth was freaking hilarious.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Well, Lady Elf, I must go. I am told that there is a Lady Ironwort down at the Painted Lantern who is quite familiar with the people of this land. Perhaps she would know of this Anne you're seeking.
Dust doesn't say anything. She just gives him and she lets him go on.
Very well then. And he'll turn and does a little genuflect sign of the cross before leaving the temple and out the door.
Nice.
All right, and as you're turning to leave, at that time, the younger lad comes trundling up the way with a crate, kind of perched up on his shoulder.
Good day, sir. Have you seen Monsignor?
Yes, the Monsignor. He is inside the temple.
I have his delivery. Thank you very much. And he will go ahead and head inside.
All right. And you easily find Monsignor Benettini. Oh, busy this morning, I'd see.
Yes. With the festival coming, I was lucky to get all of my deliveries done. Your prayers have been answered, sir. And he places the crate in front of him. Your sacramental wine for your flock, if it'll fit them, has been delivered.
Excellent. Oh, I thank you so much, son. Thank you.
Oh.
Bless you, child.
And I have an extra gift for you today. And he reaches into a small pouch next to him and he pulls out a small bottle of wine. It says, a gift from Merrick for all of your good deeds in this community. May it keep you warm in troubling times.
Bless him. And for the service. And he reaches down into a small pocket and pulls out a silver, plunks it over to you. For
Thank you.
carrying it all this way. Thank you, son. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And he will bow, and as he walks by the collection box, he'll put that silver right back in there and keep going.
Nice. And Dust, what are you doing while this is happening?
Dust watches Elric Morningsinger leave the temple. She regards the Monsignor. She watches the transaction happen between he and a seeming local merchant that she does not know.
Now, you do recognize him from the other night at the Lantern.
Yes. You have seen
But she didn't talk to you or get to know you. She just thinks that maybe you're a local.
Yeah.
That sells things. She regards the Monsignor. She is wearing a rather sparsely fitting cloak, and she is sitting rather languorously on this pew. One might say blasphemously.
Nice.
She says, Father Benettini, is it?
Yes, dear.
She leans very far forward.
He kind of looks down at the exposed thigh.
She takes his hand in both of her hands, and she says, I have been enjoying watching the religious customs of man. And why do men ask so many questions of the air?
Well, his kingdom is eternal under the light. So, of course, we must speak to the air if we are to be heard.
She says, his?
Oh, the one true, of course. I mean,
The one true what?
the one true God.
Ah.
Surely you could not think all of creation to have been performed by a woman. Child, this is just This is just silly nonsense.
Oh boy, we went there.
Good night.
Dust is not phased in the least bit. She looks at the Monsignor and she says, Father, one of my race is not bothered with such things as death. We either die from murder or we die from what the French call ennui. And I don't believe that my loom of the weird is not controlled by my hands. So, I don't believe in fate, as you call it. But I must ask you, why is your Templar such an oaf in expression? And do you know a woods witch named Anne?
Oh, child. I can hear the youth of your summers in your words. Don't worry. Things will make more sense the more time you spend on the earth. I promise you, love. And no one expects you to understand everything or to even hold a belief. And we're not the ones that are going to force you into doing it. So I'm sure those other things will sort themselves out for you. I do promise you that, my child.
She has never dropped his hand while he's speaking, and as he is saying these things, she is squeezing his hand ever harder and harder and harder and harder, and all the while smiling at him.
Nice.
Oh, I can feel the tension. This is a topic that perhaps might be a little too mature. I believe that could be due to the risque nature of your dress. You're feeling the spirit of the father in you now. That's where this tension is coming from, my dear. This is the pressure you're transferring into my hand. I can take this burden for you. I promise you that. This tension you're feeling is the improper dress. And to discredit the Templar, one so noble and just as he, you can lay these things upon me. I am here to serve, lady. I am here to serve, my child.
She looks at Father Benedetti, or Benettini, excuse me, and still holding his hand and squeezing it and says, perhaps the tension you are feeling is the Father inside of me. And then she says, what about Lady Anne?
Oh, you mean our healer woman? Oh, that's grandmother Anne you must be talking to.
She is older, yeah.
Such a sweetheart. Uses
Where do I find her?
Oh, she usually wandering around in the woods, collecting different herbs and things that she needs for. Oh, I'm slipping accents. Collecting different herbs and things for all of her medicinal quandaries. Take care of the town. But she does have a hut, a small shack, just to the north, closer to the woods, but not quite in them.
She drops Monsignor's hand.
Do you feel well, child?
She drops Monsignor's hand, and before she leaves, she runs a finger from his ear down to his chin, and then she goes boop on his nose, and she fucking dips out as fast as she can.
All right, and out of the corner of your eye, you see him just issuing a little blessing. You can kind of hear him talking. Oh, Lord, watch over this one. She does not understand her ways.
She knows how to make an impression.
All right, Elric.
Yeah, so I was heading towards the town pub where everyone else is at.
Okay. Oh yeah, you can drag yourself down to the lantern there.
Yeah. So describe it for me, Joe. I enter the lantern, and what am I looking at?
All right. Yeah, the building itself, as you can see, is fairly colorful. The brilliant blue shutters, and when you walk in down onto that first floor, it's kind of a moderately sized room. There are a few tables and a long bar that takes up most of one of the walls. right up to the stairs that go up to the rooms up on the next level, or the next 2 levels, that is. And there is a gruff, fairly handsome dwarven woman that seems to be the proprietor of the place, taking care of 2 fellows that are slowly making their way to their feet.
One more slower than the other.
Yeah, one of which is a dwarf, and the human, of course, you recognize as Minimus, the fellow that you were charged by notes. By the sorry, I had to look over real quick. By the Cardinal Francois.
Okay, how would I know what he looks like?
From funny enough, a full painting that you had depicting, or that you were able to look at, a very large size painting from a quite affluent family, and he was pointed out as being the child. And you definitely recognize, a little older than when the painting was done, obviously, but you definitely recognize the likeness.
Yes. Then I approach Minimus at the bar, and I say, "Greetings, good sir. Are you perhaps one they call Minimus?"
Ernst looks surprised, bewildered, and says, "By the God, how do you know my name? Who are you? Do I know you?"
I studied
Sure.
in Liverpool for a while, and I understand that you too were a student there for some time.
Oh, you speak of my early days when they called me John. No, I'm not that person anymore. I think you found the wrong person, my friend.
Oh, have I? Well, perhaps we shall share a few drinks.
Perhaps we should. This is more mystery adding to web of mystery I've yet to untangle. Tell me more of how you come to know me. Excuse me,
Well-
Scored, but I think we might wait a minute before we leave. Belly's
Oh, hello?
I-
Anyone there?
yeah,
Did we
I
lose
lost him also.
Minimus?
Yeah, here.
Did we lose Damien?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
He's deep in thought.
Mhm.
Refresh.
Right, there was a slight cut. No worries.
We're in? We're good?
Yep, we're
Yeah, I can hear you.
Coming back.
Minimus.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you about to depart?
We are. Yeah, we're heading to see someone. But your story, very important to me. I'm simply confused, and all paths are the same. They lead nowhere. Therefore, I must pick with my heart. Walk with us and tell me your story.
I shall walk with you if you invite me so. Although
Yes.
I do disagree. All paths lead to our Lord. It is simply your heart that is setting the direction.
Ooh.
Wow. Much can be said about the Lord and God and religion. I've spent years in the halls of the Cathedral of All Saints. I have much to say on that, but before that, I would like to know how and why you are here for me, as I am here for someone else. And yet, you look so familiar.
Well, as I said, I am from Liverpool. And as you can tell, I am a Templar of the Church. I was sent here for reasons that are my own at this time. And I was told that perhaps there may be others I may meet here who I have some connection to from our time studying. But
So you are on a path of your own, you say?
yes. Never mind that though. If we have business to be about, I would be glad to join you. I am still learning the people of this town. and I take my charge guarding this flock very seriously.
Your intent is serious indeed, sir. I would like to introduce you to my dwarven friend here, Scord. Scord, lead our Templar. I'm sorry, what was your name?
I am Elric.
Elric. Elric, well met.
Well met, Rick. By Odin's drinking horn, well met.
Well met indeed, young man. Or old man. I apologize. I have read some of your people, and I know that you are long-lived, so I have difficulty knowing your age. So I apologize if I offend.
No offense taken.
Where are you from?
Odin accepts all in his halls.
I have scarcely seen one of your kind before. Where do you come from?
Well, I come from Filton, but I was originally part of Brooksford here. My family helped build it when it became a city, or town, when it was first founded these 50 years ago.
Ah, do you know the father up there? We have been expecting word for him from some time and have not heard.
Which father?
Oh, let me see. I believe his name was Father Artanali?
I don't go to the church much.
Dear Tully. Perhaps that was it.
Yeah. Is he a dwarf?
You know, I find that there are very few dwarves in service of the church. But perhaps. How would I know?
You're the one that knows him. I don't know him.
Oh, I don't know him. I'm new to this land. I was merely told by the Monsignor at the temple that some report was due and is greatly overdue.
That's the things with man. The things are always overdue, and they just need to take time. All good things take time.
Follow us to Grandmother Anne's. We can talk more as we walk. Time is wasting.
Did you see Anne?
Yes, do you know her?
No, but I've heard the name recently from an elf of all creatures.
An elf, you say? So the elf is for real as well. That's impeccable. I swore I saw an elf in here this evening.
I know. I could hardly scarce to believe that there is an elf in our town, but I assure you, though, she seems noble of heart, for she wishes to rid herself of the terrible affliction upon her.
Just then, you hear a chair kind of slide roughly against the flooring, and a mug gets slapped down, and an elf that was tucked away in the corner kind of stands up, looking a little dejected, kind of turns and nods to Ironheart. She kind of gives him like a knowing, like, yes, I know, and kind of walks out.
Was that another elf?
This cannot be random, but this must be a twist of fate.
It's a strange
twist of
times
importance.
to have so many of them about.
Well, the funny thing, dearie, the farther away you get from civilized lands, as they call them, the more of us seem to turn up. We're not all gone like the stories claim. Strangely, there's a lot more of them here than I've heard to be anywhere else.
It's interesting. Perhaps there is some devilry at work.
Oh no, I'm not of the devil, dearie. I'm just a dwarf.
Oh, not you, milady. I meant a work. I mean, after all, there are woods nearby, and I hear strange tales.
Oh, well, you should believe those tales are about the woods. Never set foot into the woods after dark. Be careful of where you step. Watch some of the older toadstools and stay away from the old oak trees. These are just things everyone knows, dear.
Yes, it seems that if we were going to the wood, it would be wise to perhaps gain a guide first. Anyhow, Gentlemen, let us meet this end.
If
Let
you
us
are
meet this
headed,
end.
if you are headed north, I do believe Merrick, seeing as he's in town, he usually does have a delivery that sets all the way up north into Filton. Where is his man? I know Etienne is someone. He was just here. He probably ran off somewhere else. Good luck.
Speaking of that stevedore that was here earlier and throwing his money around like it was ours.
Aye, that's the one. If he's not back at his back at the ship there with Marek down along the banks, he's sure to be running around making some deliveries throughout town. In fact, I'm sure he's made the trip once or twice already to Filton. Good lad, that. Good lad.
Are we doing a refresh here?
I think so.
I think there might have been some refreshes, but hey, we still have audio. Despite
4 out of 5 players. We're doing good.
Good.
Sorry, I hate to I didn't mean to break the momentum.
It's all
Right.
good.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, so
All right.
Well, my new friends, Elric, Scored, whether it be God or the devil, or merely the veil-wearing Finn here at the edge of the forest, let us move with caution. Let us move with haste. He grabs his things and heads out the.
I assure you, if it be the devil, we'll be ready.